Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have a quick video for you today on a sheath I just made for this SOG, and I'm not actually sure what the model is. It's similar to like a SOG Pentagon, but it's a little bit longer, and it's a Tonto combo edge, little serrations there at the base of the blade there. So anyway, sorry, I am rambly, tired, scramble-brained, as per usual, but I'm going to try to get through this without yawning, God willing. So, alright, this is going to Brian. Brian had ordered a Paramilitary 2 sheath from me a few months ago now, I think, and it was for, his had like custom handle scales that were metal, and I can't remember if I did it as a combo sheath with a flashlight or multi-tool or something like that, but in any event, he's a repeat customer, and he sent me this SOG, and he asked for just a simple sheath with a leather drop loop, an Exotac fire rod, and a Sunto clipper riding down there. So I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of this sheath. It's really simple, really quick, sleek, lightweight design. So, alright, obviously we got the leather drop loop. This is, I think this is a really great option for those of you who aren't a fan of danglers, but you also don't want a tech lock or something like that. Some people just don't like tech locks. They don't like to have that extra, separation of sheath from body, essentially the spacing between the bulk that a tech lock adds. I'm a big fan of tech locks, but I totally understand if you don't like them. So if you're in that kind of category between dangler and tech lock and you're not sure what to go with, I would definitely recommend considering a leather drop loop. And I say leather specifically, not nylon, because leather adds a bit of stiffness. So you're not going to have your sheath flopping around on you the way that nylon might let it. And at the same time, it's going to still have the flexibility so that if you snag on something or if you sit down and it bumps into something, your sheath is still going to have the movement that it needs to protect it. So I really like the leather drop loop option. So anyway, just food for thought there. As far as the fire rod on here goes, Exotac, they make amazing fire starting gear. If you're not hip with them, you need to get hip and check them out. These go for around $22, $23, something like that on Amazon, and they're well worth it because you're going to get a lot of use out of the rod itself, and it throws good sparks, good amount of them, and hot ones, obviously depending on what you're using as a striker too. And then the best thing about these, so they have a little tinder capsule up there, a little watertight capsule, and then once you've used up the rod, you can actually just unscrew that, buy replacements for it, and plug them back in. So I'm a big fan of Exotac stuff. I'm not endorsed or supplied by them in any way at this point in time. I'm just a huge fan. So these are my go-to recommendation if you're looking for a ferro rod to put on a sheath. I got just a simple holder there, a little double figure 8 knot for a good thumb hold, I guess you'd call it, as you're trying to grab it. And then for the Sunto clipper, so I've done these before, and typically what I was doing in the past was, most of my sheaths have some kind of reinforcement plate on them. So I would mold my sheath, and then when I go to mold my reinforcement plate, I use this standard 1-inch tongue depressor, and I just kind of stick it in. I stick it over the main sheath and then mold the reinforcement plate over it. So you can see the reason I use it is because it is exactly the same. This is a 1-inch diameter compass. So this provides me with exactly the clearance that I need and the spacing I need for the actual clip of the clipper to fit into the Kydex and have something to actually attach by. So that was what I was doing, just doing that, be done with it, and it worked really well. But then the last time I did one was for a customer named Harrison, and Harrison ordered a sheath for his Benchmade saddle mount and Skinner with a Sunto clipper and a fire rod on it, and it was like a leather scout strap thing. It got a lot of attention on Instagram, so maybe you guys have seen it or are familiar with it. But anyway, Harrison got his sheath. He said he loved it. It was great, but he did one little mod to the compass holder to make it work just a little bit better. He put a notch in there, right there, because there's this tooth on. The camera's not really focusing, but you can kind of see the contour there attached to the main body. There's that little tooth, and so it obviously would cause the compass to stand off just a couple millimeters at the far end of it, And so by creating that notch and giving the tooth something to sit into, the compass locks in, and it also reduces the profile. So it's a really cool design. It's still pretty easy to get off. You just flex it slightly and then pull it off of your compass, and it's really easy to put on. If you need to put your compass back on your sheath, I recommend going in at this little bit of an angle and then just kind of rotating it down until that tooth clips in. You can kind of hear it, and you can definitely feel it. And obviously you can see when the compass body is flush with that little holder there. So, all right, now as far as the click is concerned, as far as retention goes, you got a little bit of a click. I had to really fight with this one, guys. You can see that metal bolster right there. It has a subtle lip with a really aggressive 90-degree edge. So it wants to dig into the Kydex and cut into it. So I had to kind of loosen retention around that, put the retention a little bit farther forward, which is very strange, very unconventional. But it works pretty well. So the retention you end up getting on this, there's no rattle, no play. It doesn't want to fall out of the sheath. You can get a little bit of rattle out of it if you're starting to draw the knife out. It wants to, the tip will start to move around a little bit, but as long as it, so see what I mean? It was pulled out like maybe 2 or 3 millimeters. So it has that kind of preemptive click before it comes out. You can feel. But anyway, once you seat it in there fully and you're carrying it for your actual use, you're not going to have any issues. But I didn't want to tighten it any more than that, just because of how difficult it becomes to draw when that 90 degree starts cutting into the sides of the mouth of the sheath. So that's a necessity, I think, with this one. But anyway, it is really good retention. It's a very smooth draw. I wouldn't call it ballistic. It doesn't have quite enough opposing pressure on the retention to cause it to go flying when you actually unseat it. I guess if you know, maybe if you really try, have it at just the right angle, it would go flying. But I would consider this retention to be just about perfect, and certainly easy to use. So that's what I got for you on this sheath. If you like it, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you think of it. And I'm going to shamelessly plug my t-shirt campaign right now. So I've got some cool t-shirts with my logo and design on it, and I'll put the link in the description box below. I'm doing it through Bonfire. So it's going for 3 weeks ending on June 21st, and we got to sell a minimum of 5 items for it to go to print. I think we're almost there already after just 1 day. So I'm really appreciative of you guys. Thank you so much for the support. And for those of you who have been asking for 1.5 years now for t-shirts and hats and merch and all that good stuff, it's starting now. So go get it. Go get your first t-shirt from me. And those will be delivered sometime like the 1st or 2nd week of July. So the campaign ends, then they print it, barring they have enough sales, and then you'll get your t-shirt in early July. If it doesn't go to print, obviously you won't be charged. So it's a risk-free endeavor there. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you letting me plug that. And if you like this sheath, hit that like button. You know the drill. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around for the next one. God bless.